Welcome, race fans, and another new year with a lot of skip racing. I hope. Wish everybody a very happy new year, and we're gonna watch an exciting race here at Circuit of America. We've raced here before, and we're gonna race here again. Good news is I'm all by myself, and why is that good news? Well, that means that Chris is back at home with his family, still enjoying his time over there. So that means I have to do it all by myself in this first league. The Formula 2 race, an exciting race. I don't have the standings, but I can read the standings, and I know that RJ McKenzie is actually on the first place, Rusty Pontenberg on the second, and Peter Lee on the third. So, quite exciting to see that kind of racing. Those drivers are here, so let's have a quick look if we can see, because they are busy with the qualification. Always good to see qualification in Formula 2. It's an open qualification. And here we see RJ McKenzie on the first position with a 1:45.07, and he is going a little bit quicker. No, he's not quicker. He's only quicker in the last lap. That was his last lap. So we are nearly ending the qualification. Let's have a quick look. We see that RJ McKenzie is on the first position. Nicholas Mazza, great to see him back. 1:45.5 on the second place. Barry Stockdale on the third position. And there we see Rusty Pontenberg. Oh, Nate Struls just finished his lap and is also making a jump to the fifth position. And there we see Peter Lee, number sixth position. Always steady Eddie, but I've heard from him that he didn't like this track, so I'm curious where he got this good time from. From 1:46 is a nice time to start over here. Although RJ McKenzie is really quick over here, 1:45.0. He was quick in our last race. There were discussions about him. How quick do you need to be to go to Formula 1? Well, RJ doesn't have to think about that. He just needs to be fast and show his skills, and soon enough, he will get the signal. But currently, he is leading this pack. He had a big incident in our second race, and came then all the way back up. We see Jake Ashe won the winner of the first race on the 8th position, a little bit in the middle. I do have to mention we have 19 drivers in this grid. I think that's the biggest one in Formula 2. And well deserved. It's a league that grows on its own. And this is always the moment where I'm always a little bit confused. Yes, and now we see that. All right, the grid has been made up. And we see that RJ McKenzie and Nicholas Mazza, Barry Stockdale, third position. Great for him. Rusty Pontenberg. I have an interesting story about him, but that maybe later. Nate Struls, fifth position. Peter Lee, sixth. Artie Stickney, great to see him back on the seventh position. Jake Ashe. Chris Girondellis on the ninth position. Joe Zubo, Wild Drivers on the 10th position. Greg Sharp and Melody Jones is right over there as well. See, we have a lot more drivers while they already are gridding up, so don't want to miss that part. But here we see the rest of the names. All right, it was a little bit more busy for me, working cameras and doing all this. We had a lot of incidents last race. I hope people learned from it. We hear those engines coming up. Look at that. These cars. Still waiting for a couple more people over here. And there the lights go on. So that means we can actually start over here. Alright, and let's see how they come to that first corner. We do see immediately people, Nicholas Massa going behind RJ Mackenzie. Look at this big field here. Looks that everything goes well. That inside corner is a little bit slow, but look at this. It seems everything goes fine. So RJ Mackenzie on the first position. I do see Carter Stickney making a move on Peter Lee over there, and that works. Peter Lee is defending over there on Chris Girondellis. But look at this, all very clean. And here they already come. Look at this, Peter Lee on the outside over there. Still defending Chris Girondellis. And is making it work over there. Very close. Jake Ashe right behind there. And I do see that RJ Mackenzie was a bit wide over there, but made it work. Look at that, Peter Lee. Peter Lee is now making a move already on Chris Girondellis. Tries to get back on that position. Alright, and that was lap 1. Everything's still very close. We didn't see any incidents, which I always like very much. Oh, look at that. And now we see people moving. Rusty Pontenberg is looking on the inside over there of Barry Stockdale, and he is making that move. Does that work, that inside? Yes, that works very nicely. Oh, inside, outside, look at that. And while I say that, I do see that Chris had an incident over there. Let's have a quick look what exactly happened. He was fighting with Peter Lee. Peter Lee takes that inside line over there. That works quite well. Oh, and then he just slips it out. Can't control that outside line, and everybody goes past him, but he holds that car quite nice. So not much problems over there. No, RJ Mackenzie is taking the lead now with 2.2 seconds. And there behind there we see Nicholas Massa with Rusty Pontenberg and Barry Stockdale. And I do see that here in the back we, let's have a quick look, the names over here. Christopher Goosey on the 17th, number 17th is fighting with Rich Butler. Goes quite hard there on the back. Alright, and let's have a look on the other side, because there it's going with Jake Ashe and Peter Lee and Carter Stickney. Guys that have been driving this championship quite a while now. Peter Lee, our former championship holder, is back here. And that is a little bit of a second group that we see coming up. If you look at the track map. Although, of course, it's all very, very short still. Oh, and we do see a major crash in the back. Multiple people involved. Alright, let's have a quick look. I see Nate Rules and Melody Chance over here. Coming on to the straight. Shouldn't be that difficult. Oh, Nate Rules. And there goes a lot of noses. And there he stands still. And that was his race. Curious if he comes back from that. Currently we're driving along here with Jake Ashe, who is in past Peter Lee on the moment and is driving behind Carter Stickney. Interesting fight over here. A little bit less interesting, but also nice to see Rusty Pontenberg on the third position behind Nicholas Matza. We know Rusty Pontenberg is driving along and do this quite some times, making sure that he can follow Nicolas Massa and maybe gain some on fuel, because that does help over here. Interesting story about Rusty Pontenberg, I have to tell. Rusty had got COVID, luckily recovered, but since he has recovered, he has been driven a lot better. And there are some rumors that there are some things that we have seen on that. One of the things, I will have a quick look if I can show it to you, is actually this picture over here. We see Rusty had a vision in his COVID time, and he spoke to Piet Broughton, and since then he has made a lot of speed, and you can see that over here. He's actually looking to overtake Nicolas Massa. But that doesn't work quite yet. Let's have a quick look how Jake is doing. Jake is still behind Carter Stickney, and behind him is Peter Lee, and Joe Zubo is now also right over there. Look at that, Joe Zubo. Is he the race admin of this league? If you have any troubles, Joe will always be there to help us. Oh, and why I say that Rusty Pontenberg is going wild there, really close to Nicolas Massa, and Barry Stockdale is also getting really close over there. Look at that. 3 of them are now getting really active. And Carter Stickney sees it over there and makes a little bit of a move on Jake Ashe. Oh, so we do see now a little bit of groups coming over. Of course, we're just 7 minutes in. We probably are going to see a lot of pit stops too for each driver. All right, and we do see the first coming in. Of course, that is our Jake Ashe. We're 5 laps in, and Jake Ashe is already here in the pit. Let's have a quick look how he is going to do that while we do see that Rusty Pontenberg and Barry Stockdale are just right behind Nicolas Massa. Oh, it's close contact right over there. They're really making it work. Let's have a quick look for position number 10. There's a big group over here. We see Melody Chance, Greg Monkowski, Lewis Butler. I even see Greg Sharp and Chris Girondellis hanging on to this pack. So this is a really big group, and it's going to be interesting when they are going to go to pit. What's going to happen, how that's going to look for them. Melody is positioning her quite well, trying to defend, but all the defender, no! They do touch over there. Richard Riboya, new driver over here. Him in hard. I'm curious. Let's have a quick look. Looks like Melody Chance is doing okay. I don't see much damage, luckily. You never know, and we do see that Rich Butler is now also taking a look over there. We did see that Christopher Goosey has crashed in the back. Too bad for him. We'll hear from him maybe later what exactly happened. And while I'll talk about that, Joe Zubo went into the pit. So he is now also into the pit, and that means that RJ McKenzie all alone by himself, 6 seconds ahead, 6.5 seconds ahead. Long way over here. Is he signing here his death sentence in the Formula 2? He's showing that he has a lot of speed. We do have to see that Nicolas Massa is here fighting with Rusty Pontenberg. But they're holding on. Oh, this is actually Nicolas Massa with Barry Stockdale. And Barry Stockdale is looking there on the inside. Takes that inside really clean. Wow. Great move of him. Look at that. He's making a position move up to that podium. Third position. See, Richard Reboya is now also taking the pit. Maybe he had a little bit of damage going on. And I think he had, because he did crash in the background. And now we see the pack are a little bit dividing. Look at this. Peter Lee is also... I think there's a problem with Nicholas Mazza. Let's have a quick look. We can drive along with him. I don't see any damage, but... oh, he does have damage on the back. Look at that. He is sparking over there. Oh, he had a major... let's have a quick look if we can see what happened to him. No, I didn't see anything in the log files. But he's going to go for a pit stop. I want to bet you. Well, I'll say that we also see Mackenzie going in. So he's now in, and that means Rusty Pontenberg is taking the lead. And Barry Stockdale is going to go over the second position. And Carter, we just see pass him on the third position. But I'm more curious about Jake Ashe. Jake Ashe and RJ Mackenzie. Look at this. There are people passing RJ Mackenzie, but RJ Mackenzie is now taking the inside. And I'm curious what's going to happen over here. Yes, I saw that happening. Look at that. Rich Butler didn't see him coming, or RJ Mackenzie didn't see them coming. But they're getting hit, and that means that our virtual race leader is in danger. And maybe Barry Stockdale and Rusty Pontenberg can take advantage of that. Momentarily, Carter Stickney is overtaking Barry Stockdale. Look at that. Carter Stickney is loose. He is making some nice moves over here. Oh, very close from Barry Stockdale. But he barely missed him. Had a different line over there. Again, we see some incidents going off. But this is a nice, interesting battle over here. And while I say that, we do see in the back that Rich Butler has crashed. Maybe that was due to that problem that he had over there with RJ Mackenzie. And we do see that yeah, this is an interesting fight for the battle is for the fifth position. And oh, look at that. Barry Stockdale, nice move. On the exit now. Kurt Smith is into the pit. I haven't seen him much yet. Driving a little bit in the background. But that's not bad. That doesn't mean he didn't crash yet. And he's all there for to gain for. I am curious about RJ Mackenzie. He's now coming over the line. Doesn't seem that he has much damage. We see Rich Butler really dropping back due to that pit stop. Don't see much happening over here. Carter Stickney is again behind Barry Stockdale. And I also see that Peter Lee is passing here Jake Ashe for the 7th position. We have a lot of positioning changes going on. In the back we have for 11 and 12 here Greg Sharp and Greg Montgomery. Biggest win over here is Dan Pagalski, 10 positions. Of course he didn't pit yet, so we'll see him coming in very soon, I guess. Dan Pagalski, also a driver from the beginning. Was there a long time. And Jake Ashe is back up to Peter Lee. Have a quick look if we can see their lap times. Yeah, Peter is losing a little bit on Jake Ashe, so would be a good moment for Jake, but Jake is always very keen on to save fuel. Maybe he does find that right over here. Right, so now we see Barry Stockdale, Rusty Pontenberg. See basically the whole top 4 into the pit. So this is the pit stop strategy. We do see that Joe Zubo is coming out over here, and this is always the interesting point. Rusty Pontenberg is taking it very easy and going over that block, wants to make sure that he's safe, and he does that really well. But I do see over here that Jake Ashe is getting really close. Yeah, Jake wins it over here. Now look at that car from Jake Ashe. Nice livery. It is a little bit fragile. So maybe he should look out. We do see that here in this one shot we see Joe Zubo, Rusty Pontenberg. We see now Jake Ashe is making a move. No, he's not making a move. Driving a different line. Peter Lee, and we see behind there immediately Carter Stickney still up there. Right, so how's Joe Zubo doing? He should be ready for a pit stop, I think. No, he's still... is he... Did he go to the pits? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, they all went into the pit. Oh, right, so that was just a really nice move here, Joe Zubo. He is also one of the quickest. Jake Ashe was the very quickest, so he will be one of the earliest back into the pit stop. And he's fighting over here. I think he realized that he has to make a move. But Peter Lee is always difficult to pass him. Good defender. And keeps it solid. But I'm interested what happened with Joe Zubo, because Joe Zubo in the second position here. Rusty Pontenberg right behind him. They both have done a really good job. RJ Mackenzie did pit, yes, he was one in early. Not as early, of course, as Jake Ashe, but he was quite early. And look at this, they're all very closely together. With a second pit stop, still everything to play for. Nice to see that. It is RJ Mackenzie and Joe Zubo that are really, RJ Mackenzie that's really far away. Now 12.2 seconds. Alright, let's see what Rusty Pontenberg, is he going to make a move here on Joe Zubo? I don't think so, it's not far enough. Here they come, beautiful corner here, corner one. Where a lot of incidents happen, especially when people come out of the pit stop. But currently Joe Zubo is quite solid here on that second position. Best of the rest, after of course RJ Mackenzie, who is here just mostly taking a lead. 12.5 seconds in the lead. I'm not sure what that guy is smoking, but for sure it's not Marlboro. He is hella fast. And behind there we see Joe Zubo, Rusty Pontenberg. And of course, don't forget, we also have still the fight with Peter Lee and Jake Ashe. Interesting to see what they can do up here. Right, Jake Ashe. I'm gonna say he's gonna pit here or he's gonna pit in the next one, but he's gonna be very early in. I want to see that. It's always difficult to make sure that you have the right moment to go into the pit, and of course it's important that you keep your the right pit limiter. Whoa, Jake, that car is fragile. He knows how to drive that car, and he also knows Peter Lee, so it's going to be interesting to see. Look at this, here he goes. There's a lot more to the inside. And Peter Lee keeps it over there very nicely, and this is going to cost Jake Ashe. That's a move that you don't want to do. And while I say that, we see that Rusty Pontenberg is really close getting into Joe Zubo. But also here in the back, we do see for position number 10, Craig Montgomery, Greg Sharp. We see Dan Pagowski right behind them, and after that is Chris Girondellis. Trying to hold on, but that's a little bit more difficult. Oh, Dan Pagowski made a mistake over there. And there's Chris Girondelli, free spot for him. He immediately takes that spot and tries now to maintain, to be in this group. All right, let's have a quick look at Barry Stockdale. He's driving behind Kurt Smith. Look at this beautiful car. That's Kurt Smith over here from Canada. That is a beautiful car. Very original over there. But he's right behind him is Barry Stockdale. I'm curious, and while I say that, Jake Ashe, of course, went into the pit, so I was right. He is going earlier into that pit. We see our close move coming in. A lot of positioning changes over here, or at least people that look into it. These accidents is always very difficult. Look at this, how close they stay with each other. Really enjoy watching these races. I do miss Chris for this Formula 2 race, but seeing very good races is always a lot of fun. And while I say that, I do want to go back a little bit here to Greg Montgomery with fighting with Nicholas Mazza. We'll talk about beautiful cars. Greg Montgomery, I saw that shining part. Look at that. Right, there was some communication over here with Joe Zubo, so I'm curious what he's going to do. Is he going to take a pit stop, or is he just telling everybody, come on, we need to push, we need to go to RJ McKenzie? Because RJ McKenzie is in the pit. But Joe Zubo was telling that he was going into the pit. Just like everybody else, except Rusty Pontenberg, who is going out right now. And then I'm curious to see if Rusty Pontenberg is not even... Is he passing... Okay, yes, he is passing RJ McKenzie. I was just thinking. So Rusty Pontenberg is now in the lead. Although that is a little bit of virtual, because of course we have now the second pit stop. The second round goes in. We have 11 more minutes, and oh, we see here in the back. That was Kurt Smith with Barry Stockdale. Let's have a quick look at what exactly happened. They went here with the two of them. Oh, and they went really close. Oh! Don't think Barry Stockdale could do much. Oh! Yeah, they weren't really happy with each other. And then these things happen, and the laughing one is here, the number 3. Nicholas Mazza is driving through those guys and is now in third position. Rusty Pontenberg here on the first position. Always want to see that, of course. So the ghost of Piet Broughton has helped him so far that he's now 4.5 seconds ahead of Carter Stickney. And right behind there is Nicholas Matza with another 6 seconds. And then we see Kurt Smith. Look at that, Kurt Smith. Yeah, and Barry Stockdale has completely crashed his car. Need to go to the pit stop. That one had probably too much damage, so that is basically his race over. All right, and we do see that Rusty Pontenberg went into the pit, so that means that Carter Stickney is now taking over the lead. Look at that, you see Rusty going into the pit, finding his pit stop. And here he goes. Takes that corner a little bit wide. Carter knows how to take these corners. I've driven with him, he's a very safe driver. But is also not afraid to attack. Here he goes through those S's. Alright, let's have a quick look, because I do see here that we see Joe Zubo fighting with Peter Lee, and oh! Joe Zubo missed there a little bit the spot and gives an opportunity for Peter Lee to go really close. He's now in that draft. Look at this, driving along with Peter. Peter is not touching the curbs here a little bit. And I do see that Joe Zubo is sliding. I think Peter Lee has a good opportunity to go past him, but he needs to worry, because also behind him is, of course, that fragile car from Jake Ashe. Here they go through the corner with the three of them. Another threesome that we see is here, Dan Pogowski going behind Greg Montgomery and Greg Sharp right behind there. And again, Briscoe Girondellis who tries to hold on. Look at that. Always the same pass with him. And then we see a little bit the people that had incidents or anything happened to them. Here we see Melody Chance had an incident earlier on. I don't think it was any of her mistake. But yeah, and has to continue this race. Another victim we do see over here. Very sorry for Barry Stockdale. Beautiful paint. He's driving a little bit lost on position number 14. And then we see Rich Butler here. But I do see some position movings. So I want to go back here and look at this. Oh, Peter Lee is going past Carter Stickney. Just want to make sure that we do see everybody has made their second pit stop so far. So this is really back into the original spots with Arjun McKenzie in the first position. 16 seconds ahead nowadays. And Kurt Smith is making a move over here with Nicholas Matza. Or is he making a move? No, he's not making a move. Nicholas Matza actually passed Kurt Smith over here. So now it's holding on. Nicholas Matza has a lot of speed. So can bring them maybe back on to Jake Ashe. Jake Ashe, 6th position, is still driving to this big group over here. Looking at Carter Stickney. Yeah, you have to think, Peter Lee went past Carter Stickney, so Jake Ashe wants to do that as well. Will he do that right over here? He is going to look into it, but he's not doing that, and that means immediately, whoa, Joe Zubo has crashed over there. Look at that, Joe Zubo on the straight. Oh, this is going to be interesting. We're going to have a look at that later, because now I want to see what happens in this first corner. Let's see if we can go along with the drone. And the four of them get out of here. Look at that, Peter Lee in the first position. First position, third position, but they're fighting here for third position because Rusty Pontenberg and RJ Mackenzie are far, far away. And I don't see that they're going to make a move over here, so I want to have a quick look at Joe Zubo's crash over here. Look at this, Joe Zubo was doing so well on that fourth position. Yeah, and he's overcooking it over here. Oh, no. Oh. Not sure what happened over there. Interesting to see. Let's have a quick look if we could do anything about that. Oh, yeah, there was a mistake, and I'm also not sure what Joe... but that means Joe has finished this race, is in 19th position. And that means that Peter Lee is fighting over here with Carter Stickney and Jake Ashe for that third position. Look at that, and Jake Ashe has found the rhythm. Has looked many different times. Is he going to make a move? We are getting in the last laps. We're on lap 18, 4 minutes to go. So my calculation says that we have at least 2 more laps going. Jake can hold on over here, but he's losing a little bit of traction. And Peter Lee is holding on to that third position, with Carter Stickney right behind him. But Carter Stickney has no way to make this move over here. And he knows that, he stays behind him. And here we see Kerr Smith trying to come back to Nicholas Mazza. See if he can still overtake him. Tim Pagowski is getting past right now by multiple people. Oh no, that's someone else over there. Who are we seeing over here? That's, oh, Lawrence Sebastian. Look at that, he gave up his positions because he has a blue flag. Got a little bit confused because he does look a little bit like RJ Mackenzie, but he doesn't have the speed as RJ Mackenzie, because RJ Mackenzie is right now here on the first position, and yeah, you do see a difference on style of driving over here. RJ Mackenzie 17 seconds from Rusty Pontenberg. And how is Rusty doing? Rusty is also a little bit all by himself. Although he does see the group of Peter Lee and Carter Stickney coming closer, with Jake Ashe on that 5th position, but he's still looking. I want to bet you he's going to make a move on Carter Stickney before this. Oh, and Peter Lee goes in there. Peter Lee, what are you doing? You had such a good position there for position number 3, and he's making a wrong mistake over there. He's losing a lot of time. This is really great for Carter Stickney and Jake Ashe, because they get free spots, but also for Rusty Pontenberg. All right, so Jake, you got your move, you got your position, but now you can have a look at Carter Stickney. Now Peter Lee is back up again, and he's now in a tricky situation here with this big group. I'm not sure if he has damage. Doesn't seem to be having any damage, but yeah, just is scared, of course, a little bit. Gets here Dan Pagowski behind him, Chris Gonzalez. Oh, they go too wide into the S's over here, or they're not? Yes, they are. Right, are they going to make that? Interesting, great to see that they actually make that move. Big group over here. Yeah, that is the biggest group. We see Dan Pagowski getting closer to Greg Montgomery, then Peter Lee, and then Chris Girondellis. Greg Sharp right behind there. So this group is going to make out who's going to be at for position number 7. Or is Jake Ashe still going to make a move on Carter Stickney? It a little bit looks like he's losing grip on Carter Stickney, because Carter Stickney is now a little bit too far away for the draft. Although in the right moment, Jake Ashe is coming back. Look at this, the fragile car made in Italy. Well, I don't think Jake is made in Italy, but he is quick. Is he quick enough to catch up with Carter Stickney? I don't think so. I don't think he can make that. We're in the last lap. Everybody is a white flag. I'm pretty sure that that's happened. Or not. RJ McKenzie, look at this. All by himself. 18 seconds away. And then we see Rusty Pontenberg. And right behind there is the biggest fight with Carter Stickney and Jake Ashe. Who's going to be on that podium? Is Jake Ashe, who's been behind the... Oh, look at that. Jake Ashe is getting really close. And I do hear that we have one more lap to go. Interesting to see. This is RJ McKenzie coming on to the last straight. And here he comes over the finish line. RJ McKenzie nearly 19 seconds ahead of Rusty Pontenberg. Great position for him. Then we see Rusty Pontenberg, but I'm going to go to Jake Ashe. Because is Jake Ashe going to make a move? He needs to... he looks the whole time already over there. Look at that, he is going to make a move on the last corner, and he's doing it, he's doing it. Jake Ashe is doing it, but Carter Stickney is trying to come back. Carter Stickney is coming back, Carter Stickney is coming back. No, Jake Ashe did win it already over there, because the finish line is earlier. I forgot to have that scene over there. Look at that, Jake Ashe, great move. Behind him, Carter Stickney, Nicholas Matza, Kurt Smith, Greg Montgomery, Dan Bogowski. See Peter Lee on the 9th position. I want to see that last move. Look at this. Look at this. Jake Ashe for the podium, last position. Look at this in the last corner. Well, that car is fragile, but they did a really good move, and there's the finish line. And Jake Ashe just made that work. Awesome. Awesome work from them both on this. And do we have any more drivers coming in? I don't think so. I think here is Rich Butler coming in. Christopher Goosey. Not sure what happened exactly with him. He's coming over here onto the straight. And then right behind him is Joe Zubo. Love to hear his story. He was doing so well. And then here we haven't spoken much about him. Dave Lopresti. Beautiful car, but Dirty Dave is 17th positions. And behind there we see Richard Ruboya, Lauren Sebastian and Nate Strules, who couldn't make it till the end. And that is a little bit our race. So, are we excited? Yeah, I am excited. Let's have a quick look if we can see the results of this race. RJ McKenzie now 20 seconds ahead. Rusty Pontenberg, Jake Ashe, Carter Stickney, Nicholas Matza, Kurt Smith, Greg Montgomery, Dan Pagowski in 8th position. Great move from him. Peter Lee barely made that with that one big incident coming onto the straight. I'm curious about his story. We will hear that in the Formula 1 race, because that is coming right behind this race. We're going to go in a little break, and then let's see if we can get some drivers from this Formula 2 race to see how they went and how we can see that what their tactics were. Thanks very much for watching. We'll be in 10 minutes. We'll be back with our Formula 1 race. And welcome back to our Formula One race. Really excited to be here back in this race. We see an exciting Formula 2 race, and I would love to hear more about that. So, Peter, welcome back in the booth. You got to be tired from the race that we just saw. How was your race?
Oh, thanks, Pim. Well, I was pretty uncomfortable coming into it because I've never raced on this track before. I did a pub race earlier today just to get a little acclimated and make the qualifying, time. But this was my first very serious race, and I just wanted to survive, but I ended up holding steady. It's a track that is really hard to pass. So if you can gain track position, like in pit stops, you can get a real advantage. My quali was pretty good. And I was running P3 up until 2 laps to go, and then I had an unforced error and spun and dropped to P9.
Yeah, don't worry. We had that in the broadcast, and it wasn't a broadcast booth spell or anything. Another driver that we saw having an incident was Christopher Goosey. Christopher Goosey, welcome in the booth. Tell us a little bit about your race. How did it go?
Thank you, Pim. I think I speak for everybody that I love and hate this course. It is a really fun course to drive, but it is so unforgiving. And just like we were saying earlier, it's difficult to pass. You really have to set things up. You have to be smart about it. And if you're not, this track punishes you.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, Chris. It's, it's sort of a fun track to hot lap, but I found it frustrating to race on. I was behind Joe Zubo for half the race, and I felt maybe a tenth faster than him, but there's no way around. And then poor Jake Ashe was behind me for at least half the race, and I'm pretty sure he was at least a half a second a lot faster than me, and he had no way around me. And so it was kind of frustrating in that way.
So what do you guys expect then for a Formula One race? We do see different times, of course, a little bit quicker. Maybe a little bit bigger of a pack. We saw 19 drivers, which I thought in Formula 2 was quite a lot. But here we see, I think we're going to see around 30 people. Well, what is that going to be the influence on such a track?
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear Chris's view, but I think there's 3 keys to the race. One obviously is qualifying. I wasn't running P3 for much of the race because I just qualified well and no one could pass me. And then second, avoiding the unforced errors. It's really easy. As Chris said, it's not a forgiving track. It's really easy to make a mistake and ruin your race. And then the third is really good pit stops. I think I made up about 2 positions just on pit stops.
Yeah, that's very true. I think the key is going to be that first lap. The driver that goes in the most aggressive and survives is going to have a huge advantage because, I don't know, in our race, everybody was tiptoeing around that track that first, maybe even second lap. And if somebody gets a little bit aggressive, they're either going to have a huge advantage or they're going to be in the wall or something.
Boy, that's such a good point. I was one of those tiptoers, and I think I lost at least 1 or 2 positions on the start. I was just terrified. And it's true that it's sort of like qualifying. It's a way to make up positions, and you can hold on to a position pretty effectively if you're mistake-free.
Hey Peter, did I say this correctly? Did I see Walter coming back to the Formula One?
That's right, and he's looking fast already. He's provisionally P5 right now, having turned in a 144.27, which is just a great time.
Yeah, I'm just looking through the field. I see Joseph Noah. Is that a new name, or am I just getting ready from the new year?
Well, I don't think Joseph is completely new, but he hasn't raced yet this season. So at least for our current season of Sunday Night Skippy Formula One, this is his first race of the season. And then there's also Benoit Mounier, who I believe is a new member of the league and in the session.
Nice. Well, great to see that we still get some new drivers in. We do see some more times coming into the times right now. Maybe a good segue for our season standings. I know normally Joe makes his awesome standings, and we haven't seen him anymore. But I want to shout out Leo Octaroff, still on that on that first position, and then Jeffrey Decker as a second position. Those two, we're going to see a lot of it. We're going to see the fireworks up here. We're going to see a lot of overtaking. I'm curious what they're going to do. But then it's the big group behind there where we see Carl Dronke, Michael Hobaunik, Gurken de Meer, Scott Bell, Sammy Bridges, Chris Stewart, Philippe Jeté. You know, that's going to be exciting. Those guys are really going to have a big battle up here.
Yeah, it's still early in the season, and so it's anyone's championship. But, you know, Leo being P1 right now, it just shows you the power of the bonus point system in these races. You know, just by leading a lot of laps, Leo has earned already in this young season 10 bonus points, which is incredible.
Yeah, so how do you score bonus points, Peter? People who don't know.
You win the bonus point for pole position, for leading a lap, for leading the most laps. But there's also a system where, let's say if there's 20 laps in a race, you divide by 5, that's 4, and then for every 4 laps you lead, you earn another bonus point. And so it's a bit of a complex system, but
I'm glad you said it. Halfway through, I was like, I'm not sure, but yeah, it sounds complicated. But I'm glad you agree on that part. All right, just I know that we're gonna have a talk. They're gonna talk about safety, all the things that you don't do in these races. Maybe for us a good moment to have a quick look at the grid. Now, Leo Octaroff, Jeffrey Decker taking that first and 2 positions. Of course, I would nearly say, but behind there, Philippe Jeté, 3rd position, Carl Dronke, 4th position, Walter, 5th, Michael, 6th, Michael McLeod, number 7th, look at that, Scott Bell, 8th position, Mike Bowers, 9th position. Where are all these mics coming from, by the way?
I think we need Michael, Mikey, and Mike. And maybe Michel somewhere. Throw some French in there.
Yeah. Well, we're just gonna call one Michel. See what happens. Michel McLeod. I like it. Max Di Giacomo is on the 10th position. Joseph Noah, new driver, 12th position. Really good to have him already over there. Mark Reiner, haven't seen him much. 15th position. JR Hoops, 16th position. Again, drove with him in the GT series. And then you realize how serious and how solid JR Hoops drives. We're gonna have a look at him during the race, but he drives always the same times. Very solid driver. A little bit in the back, Brian Perez. Thought he would know this track a lot better. I've seen some vlogs from him. He is streaming as well, and I've seen some vlogs that he was actually on the track in the first corner. So was expecting a bit higher from him, but let's see what he can do in that first corner. Then we see Benjamin Harris on the 23 position, Spencer Clark 24th. Let's see if we, that is the whole stack. So. All right, Peter. If you may pick a winner, who would you go for?
Boy, it's hard to bet against Leo Octaroff here. You know, this is the kind of track that I think he excels at, and he has almost a 4/10 advantage just out of the qualifying over Jeffrey Decker and Philippe Jeté in P2 and P3. So they're going to have to be hoping that Leo makes a mistake at some point in the race in order to be able to make P1 position here.
I like to believe you, but on the other hand, Jeffrey Decker, we've seen it before. He's just slowing everything down, it's not mine, I can't do that fast, and then always suddenly he's out there. And he's gonna do something. I'm really curious what that battle is gonna be like, and how Leo is gonna fight with that. I'm also curious about Carl Dronke with Philippe Jeté, because that's gonna be an interesting fight right behind there.
To Chris's earlier point, you know, Carl Dronke can be pretty aggressive on the first lap. I wouldn't be surprised to see him trying to make a move into turn 1. On lap 1, it'll be he's sitting in P4 right now. That'll be a car to watch.
Here we see that first corner. It's going very uphill. What is your tactic when you drive with this many cars, Peter?
Well, I've just been so terrified of this. I tried to take the inside line. That normally you would go outside apex and then out, just like a normal corner. But in these first couple of laps, I just tried to stay tucked to the inside on the corner entry as much as possible. I don't know, Chris. What about you?
I think Chris is gone.
Ah, he's gone. Yeah, and so it's just a matter of trying to stay out of trouble, trying to defend access to the apex, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Especially here we go. And we do see that Carl Dronke is going on that inside. I do have to say this is one of my favorite images. Carl McLeod is going on the inside there as well. Looks like everybody's going through. Look at that, we're nearly standing still on the inside over there. But I didn't see any touching, so people are trying to be very safe.
Yeah. Well, to Chris's earlier point, people are probably tiptoeing a little bit. But these S's that they've just gone through all the way downhill are just incredibly slick on cold tires. So you're just skating around, trying to hold the line. But it looks like they're all through safely.
Although I do see some moves coming now up there. Look at that in the third position. The Carl Dronke looking on the inside of Philippe Jeté.
Now this exit right here, they're coming around turn 13, is pretty important because what happens now is you have this big quadruple apex right-hander, which is pretty much, at least in warm tires, flat out in fourth gear. And so it's almost like a straightaway. And then as they round this left-hander turn 16 and come down to one of the most important corners, turn 17, it's a semi-hairpin that goes into the front straight. And this is a place where it's right in between first and second gear, so you're really pushing the car right to the hairy edge to try to get into a firm second gear exit.
All right, Peter, let's have a quick look at Carl Dronke, because he's going to place him right on the side over there. He's going to try to make it Philippe Jeté very difficult, and I think he is going to make it in that first corner. Look at that inside line, very nicely done. And I don't want to say I'm right, but Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker are already running away a little bit.
Yeah. Looked like there was some light contact in turn 1 involving Andrew Cole, and for some reason Jason Berkheimer is in the pits. But Pim, I think you're absolutely right. Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker are pulling out now almost a 2-second gap on Carl Dronke in P3. And Jeffrey is looking awfully content to just try to stay in Leo's draft for a while.
Yeah, it's nice to see that, and you do see that Michael Hawanick is also getting very close up to Philippe Jeté. Right behind there is Walter with Scott Bell as well. Look at that, Scott Bell, 9th position. 7th position, sorry.
Yeah, that's a real pack there. Carl Dronke, Philippe Jeté, Michael Hawanick, Walter Claude, and Scott Bell. And they are trying to pull out a gap to Michael McLeod and Max DiGiacomo and Mike Bowers in P8, 9, and 10.
Yeah, because that's how bad it is already. They're just trying to defend them from the back. You don't even, you can't catch up with Leo and Jeffrey. Look at that, already 2 seconds out.
Mike Bowers is coming alongside Max DiGiacomo on the front straight, taking that same inside line that we saw Carl Dronke do earlier. And looks like he'll easily make the pass on Max DiGiacomo.
Yeah, that's a nice move that we saw happening.
A little further back in P12, we have another pack of 4 cars with Aaron Law, Joseph Noah, J.R. Hoops, and Chris Stewart. And they are, I think we've heard this story before in previous races. They just seem to get stuck with each other. Joseph Noah is a new name here, but Aaron Law, J.R. Hoops, and Chris Stewart.
Yeah, look at that. J.R. Hoops, as I said, very solid driver, is now behind these. And he's looking, I think he's just looking what Joseph is doing. Joseph is making a lot of moves.
Yeah, Joseph is looking a little anxious to find a way around Aaron Law. And I think patience
he did find a move. Look at this. Aaron Law is losing a lot of positions suddenly. Don't exactly know what's wrong with that, but he did give up
I
4
think
positions.
That previous exit, there's a slowdown if you get 4 wheels off track, and so I'm guessing Aaron had to serve a slowdown penalty.
All right, and that's why it's good that you're here and that we know these kind of things, because I would have not a clue. Look at this. Leo Octaroff is on the 143.7 right now.
Boy. So we have in P16 battle brewing between Mark Rayner and Steve Dewar. And Steve Dewar is looking on the inside going into T1, but decided to back out. And partly he has to watch his own hindquarters with Brian Perez and Jeff Torbeck right on Steve's tail.
And that's the thing with these kind of drivers. 27 drivers or 26 then up here. If you don't look forward, you need to look backwards. And look at Brian Perez making his moves over here.
Yeah. Well, you're starting to get a sense of where the passing opportunities are. We're seeing some moves, basically drafting down the long front straight and hopefully being able to claim the inside line going into T1. And otherwise, we're having to see a lot of patient drivers. To stay.
Yeah, and I do feel that with Carl Dronke now on that 3rd position, that we do see that he is trying to run away a little bit from Philippe Chetet and trying to see if he can get any contact with Jeffrey Decker. Currently 2 seconds ahead, and then Philippe Chetet with Michael Hawaunik, Walter Calata, Scott Bell, Michael McLeod, and Mike Bowers right behind there. That's a little bit this first group.
Well, Max Giacomo and Sammy Bridges also in P10 and 11, they're part of that whole group as well. Well, it does look like Michael McLeod is making a move. Yep.
It's nice if we say the same thing. Look at this, Michael McLeod makes that move really nicely. You see Scott Bell, I think he's going to make it if he keeps on that momentum. No, he doesn't, but and Mike Bowers really close in there.
Yeah. The difficulty for Scott Bell there is you can't be certain that the driver on the inside, Michael McLeod, won't wash out wide. And so it just pushes you very, very far out wide. In the Skippy Formula 2 race, I had the inside line on a pass like that, and the outside driver just washed out completely, just out of fear that I would be washing out.
Yeah, we do see that Mike Bowers had an off-track over there as well, and he now needs to give that up as well, and that means that Michael McLeod, together with Scott Bell, are driving, continuing their drive.
Right, and so Mike Bowers is now being pressured by Sammy Bridges, and so these are the little kinds of mistakes that I think are one of the main opportunities here, along with pit stops.
Yeah, you could be right about that. We are currently driving along with that second group: Carl Dronke, Philippe Chetet, Michael Hawaunik, Walter Calata, and Michael McLeod is a little bit behind there, trying to catch up. But these four, look at this. I do feel that Carl Dronke has a little bit more speed than the other ones. He's trying to run away.
Yeah, he does have not quite a 1 second gap, but he's approaching that, and so I think you're right that he is really trying to find a way to shake these other drivers. But it'll be interesting to see how this develops. His best opportunity to do that could be in the first round of pit stops.
Yeah, that could be an interesting part. Wish Jake Ashe was here. He could tell us all about these pit stop strategies. Oh, don't you get like seasick when you go through these S's?
Boy, I don't know if you get seasick, but your knuckles are white.
Yeah.
And you know, as they say, if you aren't scared through those S's, you're not going fast enough.
Well, we see 27 drivers all doing that.
I'm having some fun watching the battle for P7. You know, Michael McLeod holding on to P7, trying to fend off Scott Bell. And it looks like Scott Bell is a little faster through those S's that we were just talking about, but that Michael then is able to pull out a little bit more of a comfortable gap in the other parts of the track.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I see Scott Bell getting a lot closer right now.
Yes.
This will be a good moment to start to overtake.
This is a great drafting opportunity. He is closing in with the help of draft. He's going to try to get on the inside, but has decided to be patient.
Yeah, and then right behind there we see Mike Bowers getting Max DiGiacomo because he is getting over there, and Sammy Bridges is waiting.
Yeah, Sammy is just watching this Max DiGiacomo-Mike Bowers battle, and you know, this is something also where you're just waiting for a battle to result in some wheel-to-wheel contact, and you know, maybe earn two positions at once.
And Max is looking.
We do have incident in turn 10. Not too sure. It looks like it was just incidental contact. Everyone's still going. But it might have involved Mike Howanek.
Yeah, because I do see that Michael McLeod is fighting with him.
Yep.
But Michael McLeod's going too wide and gives an opportunity to Scott Bell. Look at that. Scott Bell's going to have a real good look over here.
Boy, that's a crucial corner exit there. You don't want to lose any momentum coming out of there, because this looks like a big right-hander, but it's actually flat out in fourth gear by now with these warm tires, and so it's just morally a straight, and you just need all the exit speed you can get.
All right, Scott Bell, is he moving over? He has a lot of people behind him. Look at that, and they all draft from each other.
Yes. Well, and you know, to the earlier comments before the race started, this is part of the love-hate relationship of this track. You just don't quite get enough passing opportunities in most parts of this track, and so it just is very, very difficult. It looks like Jonathan Dockery is in the pits, presumably for his first refueling stop. The first of two expected refueling stops is being taken by Jonathan, and the pit window, refueling window, is open.
Right, so that could be giving a signal to Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker. And while I say that, look at the distance that they've made. It's over 5 seconds, but also Jeffrey Decker has difficulties to hold on to Leo Octaroff. Leo is more than 1.1 second away right now.
Yeah. That can't be Jeffrey's plan. I'm sure Jeffrey will have wanted to stay within, you know, the 1 or 1.1 second draft plume of Leo Octaroff.
Yeah, and the fight behind there is Philip Cité and Carl Dronke, and Carl Dronke is really looking on the draft over here. Look at that. I think he's going to make a move. If he wants to make a move, he needs to make the move right now. And he is making that move. Look at that.
That's a carbon copy of the earlier pass that he had made.
Yeah, and there's more going on because we see Michael McLeod is losing it over there from Walter Calata, and Scott Bell is going on the 6th position. Look at that, Michael McLeod's fighting back.
Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting SS.
Boy, and those S's, that is the one place on the track where you do not want to be too wide. It really, there's only one line through those S's. Boy, that is a serious battle involving Scott Bell, Michael McLeod, Walter Collada, and then Mike Bowers, Max Giacomo, and Sammy Bridges, all in that train.
Yeah, this is the big fight, although I don't want to miss anything from Carl Dronke and Philippe Cheté. Although it seems to me that Carl Dronke again is pushing hard to get rid of Philippe.
Oh, it looks like Leo Octaroff has just dived into the pit lane, and Jeffrey Decker right on his tail.
Look at this, and Jeffrey was making a little bit of a move over there, right in front of the pit limiter. Oh, and we see basically everybody going in except Michael Hawonik.
Yeah, Scott Bell, Walter Collada, Chris Stewart, J.R. Hoops, all Mark Rayner, Joseph Noah, Steve Dewar, Ryan Perez. Right in the meat of the first pit refueling window.
Yeah, and that means that Michael Hawonik is now in the lead. Always nice to, if you can say that.
Look, Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker are coming out of the pits side by side. And they're going side by side, about to enter the S's. It looks like Leo is going to back out a little bit.
Look at that. Oh, this is very close racing.
Yes. And right up ahead of them is Andrew Cole. Andrew Cole is a very, very strong driver, but he's lapping roughly a second to lap, maybe 9/10 of a second lower than these two. And so it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens here, since there's only a half-second gap between Jeffrey Decker and Andrew Cole coming up.
If I will be Cole, I will be straight in going to the pit right now. This is terrifying because this is not just for this race, this is for the championship, and we do see a change right now where Jeffrey Decker is actually leading it on Leo Octaroff. Of course, we're only halfway through, but we do see that Michael Hawonik, Michael McLeod and Mike Bowers are going into the pits. It's going to be a Mike party in the pit.
Keeping an eye on Andrew Cole to see if he comes into the pit.
I would do the same thing. Just get the hell out of there. I need the pit. Yeah, that's perfect because Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker are coming through.
And just to be clear, Andrew Cole was lapping in the low 144s, so blazing fast. But,
yeah. Oh no, don't worry. If you're in Formula 1, and look at this, they're going side by side. He is going to make that move. Wow.
But Jeffrey's maintaining overlap coming into T2, and now they're side by side going into the S's. This is now who's the more brave or more stupid driver. They're going side by side through the S's. This is not possible.
Oh
my God.
Look at that, and Jeffrey Decker takes that lead.
Wow. I cannot believe what I've just seen there. That is incredible.
And that's why you come to Sunday Night Skippy, just to see these kind of drivers. Look at that. Jeffrey Decker defending very, very well and holding that position. I do think that this is what we want to see the whole race.
Yes.
Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker trying to fight. I also see that Carl Dronke is getting a little bit back, or maybe that just looks a little bit. But we need to see this more going on. Carl Dronke right behind there. Look at that, 5 seconds, but on his own, driven off Philippe Cheté.
Yes, Philippe is about 8 seconds back, and now as we come around turn 16 and turn 17 on the front straight, we may see a replay of Leo's attempt to pass on the inside. It'll be interesting to see if Jeffrey Decker decides to defend on the inside. Yeah,
Look at this, look at this.
So Jeffrey's going to
I don't have enough cameras for this. Look at this, he's going on the outside.
Very, very hard to be on the outside. But now Leo's going to have the inside position going into turn 2 down the hill. And now Jeffrey might be disadvantaged going to the S again. In fact,
Jeffrey has chosen the position on the back, but this was great to move of Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker. Look at this. This is what the kind of fights that we want to see.
This is our version of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, except with no contact between the cars. Fantastic stuff.
And then we're not going to say who Max is and who Lewis is, although I do have to say Leo Octaroff made a crash last time in the Hamilton corner, so maybe that's not his favorite on the moment. But these guys are making a really nice fight. I do want to make sure that we also look at other people. We see Michael Hawanick with Walter Galata and Michael McLeod fighting over here.
Yeah, and they're trying to chase down Philippe Jete, who is in P4, right up in front of them. It looks like Mike Bowers has also been making up pace on Michael McLeod. So it's really, a group of cars starting P4 with Philippe Jete, then going through Michael Hawanick, Walter Galata, Michael McLeod, and Mike Bowers. That's the group of Mikes.
Yeah, it seems that they're always together, and while I say that, we'd also see that Sammy Bridges is getting really close to Scott Bell for that 9th position, and right behind there is Chris Stewart with Max Di-Giacomo and Aaron La, all actually fighting for a position.
Oh, it looks like Aaron La got a great exit from turn 17. I wonder if he's going to try a pass on Chris Stewart here.
No, he's actually going into the pits. Is he not? No, he's not.
No, he's taking the inside line, and he's making the pass. Oh! And it looks like...
I think that was Chris Stewart who took wisely the outside line.
Yeah, yes. So that resets the order of that P11 to P13 group, with Aaron Law now in P11, Max Di-Giacomo in P12, and Chris Stewart in P13.
Yeah, I just had a quick look.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I had a quick look with Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker, but they are back into shape. Leo on the front and Jeffrey Decker right behind there. The group behind there is a little bit more interesting. Philippe Jete and Michael Hawanick fighting. Walter right behind there. Look at that, holding on. Amazing to see him. Haven't seen him in a while, and now he's back. And look at that, Mike Bowers making Michael McLeod difficult.
So Pim, I'm looking back in this battle for P14. Mark Rayner is in P14, but JR Hoops and Joseph Noah are in hot pursuit behind. And it's again one of these things where it looks like JR and Joseph make up ground on Mark Rayner through the S's, but then Mark is able to pull out a little bit more of a comfortable gap in the back part of the course. And so it'll be interesting to see if that holds true here. JR looks like he got a great exit from turn 17 down this front straight. And he's coming alongside on the inside to turn 1. That horizontal line is about the breaking point, and it looks like JR will easily make the pass on Mark Rayner.
That was a very easy pass for him.
Well, it looks like Spencer Clark has had an issue. I'm not too sure what happened there. It may have been just wanting to be careful on the pit exit. Yeah, I think he just wanted to stay out of the traffic on the pit exit.
Philippe Cheté really has a problem right now because he is not only fighting to get back to Michael Houwenik, Walter is really easing on him.
You know, this was another thing I think about the Skippy Formula 2 race. There was not a moment in the entire race where I felt like I had a chance to just relax and hot lap. You know, I was always driving in my mirrors or chasing someone's gearbox, and I think we're seeing that here in the Skippy Formula 1 race too for most of these drivers.
Yeah, we definitely see that. If you look at the complete pack, there are groups everywhere. And currently the smallest group over here is Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker. Looking, but I don't think Jeffrey Decker can get close enough like Leo could do. So we're back on, we're actually waiting for the second pit stop. Maybe Jeffrey can do another trick over there.
Yeah. Just to call out a new name to Sunday Night Skippy, there's a battle for P20 with newcomer Benoit Mounier. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Being pursued aggressively by Charlie McCarty in P21. And it looks like Charlie's coming alongside down the front straight and taking the inside position into turn one and making the pass cleanly. Oh, but he's overcooked in the exit. Looks like he's okay.
Yeah, because that doesn't mean an off-track that you immediately have to wait.
That's right. It's a 1x incident point, but no slowdown.
Look at that beautiful car from Charlie McCarty. Really, I think he knows that that's my favorite color.
Yeah, it is beautiful, but especially in the sunshine like this, it looks great. Well, back up front, it's looking like Leo Octaroff is once again pulling out roughly a 1 second lead on Jeffrey Decker. Jeffrey might make up some ground here drafting on the front straight, but it's almost like a replay of the first field stint.
Yeah, and Jeffrey only has one more pit stop to make a move on that one. But this is good enough. And we also know that Leo can make mistakes. He made a mistake last time.
Meanwhile, Carl Dronke in P3 does seem to be pulling out a fairly comfortable lead over Michael Houwenik, Philippe Jeté, and Walter Collada. Michael Houwenik now about 2.5 seconds behind Carl Dronke.
Yeah, there's a big fight going on with Sammy Bridges and Scott Bell. In that first corner, Sammy Bridges overtook Scott Bell, but Scott Bell is going to get really close here in the S's. And we see basically the same thing happening in the back over there. I think that's Chris Stewart with Max DiGiacomo. And then right behind there we see J.R. Hoops fighting with Joseph Noah.
Boy, these are really epic battles, and you are just on the knife's edge when you're doing this. You know, about those S's, viewers might notice on those S's these little diamond-shaped yellow curves right at the apexes of each turn or each corner in the S's. If you hit those yellow diamond curves, you have better than a 50% chance of your suspension on your Skip Barber Formula 2000 car being destroyed. So the level of precision that's needed is just incredible. I'm seeing Jason Berkheimer in the pits for his second refueling stop, and now stopped there for his fuel.
I think he stopped completely, or at least he's waiting for people. And while we say that, we do see that Mike Bowers is coming over into the first corner. Right behind him is Michael McLeod. And then we see a little bit of a gap with Sammy Bridges and Scott Bell that we earlier followed. I think the closest fight that we have right now is Michael Houwenik, Philippe Jeté and Walter Collada. Fighting over here for position number 4.
Yeah, Michael Howenick is trying to pull out a gap. He might be aided by Walter Collada just applying so much pressure and sticking his nose on the inside of Philippe Jette's car in some of these corners.
Yeah, he is driving different lines, trying to see if he can make a move. A little bit wider over here.
Yeah, again, that exit right there is so important. You really just want to launch the car as best as you can because this wide right-hand sweeper is essentially a straight.
I don't see him come any closer right now.
No.
Oh, he's going into the pit. Look at that. Walter is going into the pit together with Carl Dronke. Curious if they have a line of communication together. Look at this. They are going in.
Well, in fact, I think this is the open pit window for the second stop, and it should be enough. It looks like now JR Hoops is looking on the inside of Joseph Noah coming into turn 1, but is going to stay behind, and that is the battle right now for P13.
Great to see so many battles in this race.
Yeah.
Biggest battle is, of course, Leo Octaroff versus Jeffrey Decker. Currently, Leo is leading, but let's not kid each other. Jeffrey Decker is coming back. We still have a second pit stop where Jeffrey Decker, I think, how much time did he gain?
Well, he gained, I think, almost a second before, and so.
Peter, sorry, the cool thing is it's not on his time, so it's not on pit limiter time, so that's got to be on the whole street. I'm just curious.
It's a good point, Pim, because actually the pit entry here, in fact, we are seeing them both coming.
Look at this.
No.
Is Jeffrey Decker here? Look, Jeffrey Decker, bam, and he's closer. That last little bit. Jeffrey Decker makes a move over there, and now I'm very curious to see. Let's stay with these guys.
This
is Jeffrey Decker going to make it?
Formula 1 FIA approved track.
Yeah.
Long, slow pit lane.
Oh, and I missed them. Where are they?
They're in the first two pit stalls. And Leo has gotten off first, and this time looks like Leo has managed to maintain, and in fact maybe even extend his lead a little bit.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh! Oh no!
Oh.
No! What happens over there? He makes him. He gets
Max
hit.
Max DiGiacomo has come into contact with Leo Octaroff.
What was happening over there? That was really unexpected, and that's what you can see in these races. But that means that
it looks like
Leo...
Max was trying, I believe, seeing Leo coming out of the pits, was trying to give him room and took a wider line into turn 1, but as a result, lost the rear end and spun right into Leo Octaroff.
Yeah, and this makes crazy races for other people behind it, because look at that, immediately Carl Dronke is now overtaking Leo, but everybody's a little bit, what's happening? What do we need to do? And they are all overtaking over there.
Yeah, Leo Octaroff's car, it looks obviously damaged, and so he's probably limping to the pits for repair. In fact, he's missing a front wing, and it doesn't look like his steering is going
now, so let's have a quick look exactly what happened, because he gets out of that pit, seems all fine. Oh, and then Max made a mistake over there, and Max didn't hold his brakes, and it goes to the inside, and there is Leo Octaroff. Yeah, and then it's over. Yeah.
I believe Max was actually trying to give plenty of room to Leo.
Yeah, no, he made a silly mistake.
Yep.
And you see Jeffrey Decker thinking, what do I need to do? Do I need to continue? And yes, you need to continue.
Yes.
But that has made a big difference.
It does.
We see Carl Dronke is getting now past Philippe Cheté, who gets just out of the pits.
Yeah, in fact, Jeffrey Decker, Philippe Cheté now is in P3, Carl Dronke in P2 of the cars that have made both their refueling stops. In the race lead right at the moment is Michael Howenick, followed by Michael McLeod and Sammy Bridges, but Michael Howenick and Sammy Bridges have yet to make their second refueling stops.
Yeah, and then we see Jeffrey Decker and Carl Dronke also very important in the championship. Could this be it that finally Jeffrey Decker is taking the lead in this championship? Currently we see Michael McLeod going into the pits, look at that. Michael McLeod goes into the pit, we see Sammy Bridges right behind there. And then our real race leader comes in, Jeffrey Decker. That needs to be a relief. Of course, we will hear from him that it's very bad and too bad for Leo. But it does mean that Jeffrey Decker is taking the lead. And very important points.
And Carl Dronke now has assumed, I believe, P2.
Yeah, he does have P2 over here. We see Michael Howenick getting out of the pits, but that's not quick enough. So we see even Walter Calata going over. Mike Bowers on the 5th position.
Yeah, boy, this really is shaking things up. Chris Stewart is hassling Scott Bell, vying for P7, going through the S's right now.
I've seen Chris Stewart is also on Twitch, and he has been practicing quite a bit, always in that top split.
He's running a super strong race. He's up 5 spots from where he qualified, running P8, but really vying for P7 right now.
Yeah, although it's difficult to keep up with Scott Bell. Scott Bell has found his rhythm if you look at his last lap times. Although Stewart is coming a little bit closer.
It's interesting what we see is, different drivers have different sections of this track where they're a little bit faster. And it's one of these situations where a fairly technical track like this, where you really test your ability to control the car, control the balance of the car with the throttle, but also be...
Peter, I think there went something wrong with Michael Howenick, because he is back into the pit. So that means that he's losing that spot right over there on Mike Bowers. Mike Bowers gets his free spot in there and is currently driving on the 4th position. And Walter Calata, look at that, is just coming back on the 3rd position.
Interesting. I wonder what happened to Michael Howenick. He's staying in the pits for quite a while. Maybe there was a pit lane violation on his previous pit stop.
Yeah, that seems that it looked like that, but for basically the whole top 10, it's a great way. Basically our top 20, because he's dropping now to position number 18 already over there. And Walter is trying to drive away from Mike Bowers, 2.2 seconds ahead.
And look at Sammy Bridges running a strong P5 right now, up 9 spots from where he qualified. He does have Scott Bell and Chris Stewart battling behind him, but he's got a nice gap of about maybe 2.5 seconds to them. So assuming he can stay mistake-free for the remaining 6 minutes of this race, that'll be a great result for Sammy.
Sammy's a solid driver. He will have no troubles to do that. Let's have a quick look on Jeffrey Decker. He is coming over the finish line. How is it with the times, Peter? I know that sometimes our drivers can be so fast that we can actually have an extra lap. Is that the case, or?
I would guess that we have 4 laps to go. I think we're pretty safe with just 4 laps, but I guess the question is, whether people counted on 25 or 26 laps in this race. It is a pretty long track, and so you at 2.6 miles, you can run a half a lap short on fuel.
So this is Jeffrey Decker, and let's go back to Leo Octaroff, who's now coming over the finish line and still has to start that lap. Has 2 drivers in front of him, Steve Durr and Philippe Cheté. Philippe Cheté also moved backwards, and while I say that, Steven Durr has passed him over here. Oh, this is going to be an interesting fight. Going side by side into the SS.
It looks like Steve Durr thought better of that and slotted in behind Philippe. Leo Octaroff is catching up to them, though, running now in P15.
Yeah, he will for sure catch up with him. He can drive a 142 currently, so no problem.
Right behind Leo, there's a group of 3 cars vying for P16. Brian Perez has just passed Jeff Torbeck to take P16, and Michael Hownick is right behind the 2 of them.
And I did see that Brian Perez took an off track. I'm not sure how much that off track is. But currently he can defend there quite hard with Jeff Torbeck. Nice to see that.
Yeah, and it looks like Michael Hownick is desperate to find a way around the 2 of them. It's going to be difficult until he gets to the front straight.
Yeah, and if they fight hard enough, then McCartney is also getting back over there. Look at that, Jeff Torbeck, completely different line. Tries to get on that inside of Perez, but that's going to be desperate.
Yeah, that
more
outside
defending
line that Jeff Torbeck took it feels right because the tires don't scrub as much, but it doesn't seem as fast, or it doesn't seem any faster at least.
Now let's have a quick look at Scott Bell with Chris Stewart. They're also very close going into the S's. We've seen that before, this rhythm. In front of them is Sammy Bridges. Behind them is Michael McLeod with Aaron Law. Aaron Law also moved up quite a bit. Not that much, 2 spots, but hey.
Yeah, no, it's he's running a strong
behind them is
race.
Mark Reiner, and he won 5 spots. Oh, back to Brian Perez and Michael Hownick. Michael Hownick takes the lead over there.
Wow, that was quite amazing. I wonder how that happened. Looks like on the outside of turn 2, coming into the S's, Michael just made the pass around the outside.
Oh man, there's just too much to see. Scott Bell is still in 6th position. He's holding off with Chris Stewart, but he's doing that so much that Michael McLeod is now coming back with Aaron Law. So that's going to be an interesting last 3 minutes. I think that's the most interesting battle that we see so far. We see Chris Stewart going really wide. There's no off-track over there, Peter?
No, there is an off-track, but no slowdown. And so
okay, yeah.
Yeah, and of course, by the Sunday night Skippy rules, you still can't gain track advantage by taking those off tracks intentionally. So that's, of course, a judgment call by the stewards. But
well, yeah, if the stewards are the same as the FIA, then good luck with that. But we see that Scott Bell had a little bit of a less trouble because Chris Stewart is really getting attacked by Michael McLeod. Michael McLeod's looking on the inside, looking on the outside.
So just looking at the clock, Tim, the next time Jeffrey Decker, our race leader, comes across the start-finish line, he will receive the white flag, signaling the last lap of the race.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, this race was definitely different than we thought about it, but Carl Tronky doesn't mind that. Look at that on that 2nd position. Easy driving over there. I don't think he's going to lose 2.2 seconds from Walter Kalata, who's on the 3rd position, and then Mike Bowers on that 4th position.
I agree with you, Pim. These first 3 drivers, Jeffrey Decker, Carl Dronke, Walter Kalata, they're out having serene, calm Sunday drives. And Jeffrey Decker, in fact, did take the white flag.
All right, and we can't say the same from Scott Bell, because he needs to defend here really, really hard with Michael McLeod and Aaron La. I think Michael McLeod is going to make a look. Can't imagine that Michael McLeod is not doing something in this corner over here.
Yeah, boy, and this is going to be do or die, last lap. Emmy Bridges has really pulled out a gap to this group of Scott Bell, Chris Stewart, Michael McLeod, and Aaron Law. It is our closest battle on the track right now on this last lap.
And last time through those S's, but look at that. Amazing to see they can manage this. I don't want to forget about Jeffrey Decker, who is going to make those last turns quite easy for him. He's currently 10.3 seconds ahead of Carl Dronke. I can't imagine.
Go ahead.
Yeah, tell me what McLeod is doing. Tell me what McLeod is doing.
In fact, yes, I was about to say Michael McLeod is just looking desperate to get around Chris Stewart.
I think he's going to be too desperate, and Aaron La is going to run away with something. Look at this, Aaron La is looking on the inside. By the way, I don't want to forget about Jeffrey Decker, who did win this race, but the more interesting fight on the moment here is with...
on the inside position coming into turn 17.
Oh, nice move. Is Aaron La also going to make an inside of that? No, he's not. And look at that. Michael McLeod takes that from Chris Stewart for the 7th position. Great move. Chris Stewart 8th, Aaron La 9th. J.R. Hoops is on the 10th position. Leo Octaroff right over there, 12th position. Great to see him at least coming back. We see Philippe Cheté, 13th position, 10 position dropped. Behind him is Steve Durr coming out of this last corner. All right, Peter, that was an exciting race.
Oh, that was really exciting, and it was also just very unpredictable what was going to happen there in the end.
I don't want to say I told you so, but Jeffrey Decker, I told you so. You know,
yeah.
I don't. Maybe the curse. I can also be in a good way. I think Jeffrey Decker again did an awesome job and just drove really, really, really solid. Yeah, very bad luck from Leo. I think also bad luck. You know, those things happen. Max didn't do that on purpose. Really, I think overcooked it by seeing Leo Octaroff and Jeffrey Decker in his back, and then these things happen. Makes an interesting championship, I have to say.
Yeah, very interesting, and you know, it just goes to show that anything can happen in these races. And you know, we talked a little bit about the pit exit at this racetrack. It is awkward because the pit exit dumps you right coming into the apex of that turn 1, and turn 1 is just so tricky and so treacherous.
Yeah, we saw it in the previous season. We didn't see it that much in Formula 2, I have to say, but yeah, it was again up here. Some bad luck for some drivers. Jeffrey Decker was lucky about this, 10 seconds ahead of Carl Dronke. Congratulations for him. It's going to make an enormous jump on the championship points, or at least hold his position over there. Walter Kalata comes in and immediately scores 3rd position. That's also amazing, and I hope he comes into the booth. I'm not sure if we have already some takers, Peter, but I'm curious about their story.
Yeah, Well, it will be very interesting to hear. Well, first off, what was Jeffrey thinking when he saw all that coming? And so let me pull him into the booth right now. Jeffrey, congratulations on the great drive and the great win.
Cheers, guys. Yeah. Very unfortunate what happened to Leo, I think. Seemed like after that pit stop, he actually had a gap on me. So lucky again. I'll say lucky again.
Well, tell us more. We wanted to ask you, actually, what did you see when that happened?
Honestly, it looked like we were clear coming out of the pits. So I didn't really think we had any issues up ahead. And then it just looked like, I guess, someone got a little loose. And yeah, as soon as I saw kind of those things, those guys coming together, I just checked up and tried to just leave myself some options because I didn't want to get kind of caught up in it. But yeah, it just looked like a really unfortunate timing for just a little bit of a mistake in turn one. But yeah, really gutted for Leo. Honestly, like I was struggling to keep pace with him the entire race, even in draft. I mean, he was so fast. So I think he was definitely the best driver out there today.
Well, to give you some background information, I was putting my money on you as we saw you last time driving, but I was worried in the beginning because you kept losing him, and then you came up with that enormous. I don't know exactly what happened in your pits. Maybe you can explain. How did you get past him over there?
Yeah, I don't know. When we popped out on pit exit, we were just side by side on the exit, so I kind of was just like, well, this is my chance to like lead a lap if I can manage to hang on to this for a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I went for it. Normally I'd probably just concede that, but yeah, I kind of wanted that bonus point. Leo knows how to rack them up, so I need all the ones that I can get. But yeah, just able to hold the outside there and then somehow hold on long enough to just get a lap led.
Well, Jeffrey, it was really one of the most dramatic moments of the race to see the two of you coming out side by side out of the pits and into that dangerous turn one. Incredible. And then, I was trying to explain to the viewers that it's impossible to go too wide through the S's, and yet you and Leo did it. What was that like?
Scary, yeah. I didn't do a lot of races this week, so as soon as we started going side by side through the S's, I thought, oh yeah, I just gotta leave as much space as I can. But it's always pretty safe to go side by side with Leo anywhere. He's got incredible car control and can be trusted to get to leave you the space that you're trying to leave him as well. So it was scary, obviously, more for me trying to hang on to the car than anything else. But yeah, somehow was able to kind of hang in there. But yeah, no, definitely a fun side-by-side for sure.
Well, I'll have to get some coaching from you because as far as I know, there's only one line through those S's, but you guys found two.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see it back. Honestly, I don't even know how we made it through.
So Jeffrey, I think coming into the race, you were sitting P2 for the season standings behind Leo, and Leo holding on to P1 on the strength of his bonus points. But we'll have to take a look and see what happens after tonight's race. But it does look like it's a two-horse race for the season championship between you and Leo.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of happened last season, right? At the beginning, I was able to kind of stay in there, but just over the course of the season, Leo is so quick everywhere we go. So, if it's a little bit weaker track for me, he doesn't have any weak tracks. So, yeah, it's gonna be tough to hang on to it. Yeah, but fortunate in these last two races, I think. To kind of come away with the win. I'm expecting Leo to come out even stronger than he was today and kick my butt next week.
Yeah, I think you really triggered him, and you guys trigger each other. I think it's an awesome way to see the fight. I have to say, I loved it when Leo was behind you and immediately put that pressure on. I think those 3 laps that we saw continuously for you fighting was I think one of the best races that we've seen so far in this season. So congratulations on the win. Congratulations, the first one of the new season of this new year. Congratulations. Well done, and we will love to see more of you in our next races.
Well, cheers, guys. Yeah, thanks so much for the broadcast, and then obviously just shout out to Wifey and Lando for letting me do the race.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for coming to the booth. I think more drivers, if they want to come, then please tell us your story. I always love it, the insight of the information that you have, Jeffrey. I want to thank everybody who was watching. Great that you are back up here. I'm looking forward to this new season. Jeffrey and Leo are going to make it very exciting. So great season for this year. Peter, any last words from you?
Well, I think we talked about the love-hate relationship that the league members have with this racetrack. But, at the end, it produced some great racing. It was just so much fun and really exciting to watch. So have to kind of maybe eat crow a little bit and say this was actually a good track for us.
All right. Well, thanks, everybody. And I'll see you next broadcast.